Have you ever experienced a piece of music that didn't just, entertain you, but truly moved you?
Mm.
Maybe it energized you somehow or evoked something really deep almost, or otherworldly.
Yeah, I think most people have felt that at some point.
Today, we're looking beyond just catchy tunes or nostalgic melodies. We want to explore something more fundamental.
Right.
The idea that music isn't merely entertainment, but has this profound, often overlooked secret power.
That's the core of it.
Our journey today is a deep dive into David Tame's book, The Secret Power of Music. It's quite challenging to our usual ways of thinking.
It really is.
Our mission, really, is to uncover these insights, both ancient and modern, about music's objective influence.
Objective is the key word there.
Yeah, influence on our minds, our bodies, societies, maybe even physical reality itself.
It's a critical perspective, definitely worth exploring. Because, look, today we mostly treat music as subjective, right? It's just taste.
Right, I like this, you like that.
Exactly. But ancient wisdom, a completely different view. They saw music as this fundamental, almost tangible force.
A force, like gravity or something.
Sort of, yeah. A force for good or for ill, capable of actually shaping existence.
Wow.
And the core idea guiding us today from the book is, as in music, so in life.
As in music, so in life.
Think about that. The implications are, well, pretty profound.
Okay, as in music, so in life. That's a big statement, almost a worldview. How did ancient cultures even start making that connection?
Well, let's step back, way back. Think ancient China, India, Egypt, Greece.
Okay.
For them, music wasn't just, an art form like we think of it. It was a rigorous science.
A science.
Yes, and the foundation of stable government, even a path to religious enlightenment. It was really central.
So sound was like the blueprint for everything. Was that just philosophy, or did they actually use it in governing?
Oh, they absolutely did. Take ancient China. They talked about cosmic tones, a one vibration.
The source of everything.
Pretty much. The source of yin and yang, all of creation. And they had this specific foundational pitch, the huang chung.
Huang chung.
Right, not just some note. It was seen as a universal standard for language, weights, measures, everything.
To keep things aligned.
Exactly. To align civilization with the cosmos, emperors were even seen as, incarnations of the word, maintaining harmony through music.
That's incredible. And there are stories, legends about this power, right?
Yeah.
Like Joshua at Jericho.
Precisely. The walls didn't fall to swords or rocks. They fell to sequences of sound from trumpets.
Ram's horns, yeah. That's a pretty direct example of music affecting matter.
It is. Or think about those huge Chinese imperial court orchestras.
You mentioned the Tang Dynasty, 14 orchestras,
Yeah.
hundreds of performers each.
Yes. And not just for a party, their divinely attuned tone patterns, as the book calls them, were believed to exert real influence.
Influence how?
To restore society, maintain stability against chaos, against discordant forces.
So it points to that philosophy you mentioned. The good is one thing, the sensuously pleasant another.
Exactly. It wasn't about just liking the sound. Ancient sages, like Confucius, thought music's job was to convey eternal truths, to build character.
Confucius said something about judging a kingdom by its music.
He did. If one should desire to know whether a kingdom is well governed, if its morals are good or bad, the quality of its music will furnish the answer. Powerful stuff.
So music wasn't just reflecting society, it was actively shaping it.
That was the belief, and they saw practical effects, too, like singing well strengthens the spine, apparently.
Huh.
And on a bigger scale, the right music could bring an empire to complete peace, improve customs.
It's a holistic view.
Very, and it echoes elsewhere. Think of the Hindu Om.
The primal vibration.
Yes, the soundless sound, the logos, music of the spheres. Lots of names for it. It connects to creation myths everywhere.
Like Genesis and God said.
Exactly. Or Egyptian myths about creation through utterance, Bia mantras. The universe basically sung into being.
Yeah, truly fascinating. Sound as this creative force. But, okay, fast forward. What does modern science say? Do we find echoes of this?
We actually do in some surprising ways. Science is maybe catching up.
How so?
Well, think of Ernst Chladni. Vibrating plates, sand-forming patterns.
Oh yeah, the cymatic stuff. Beautiful patterns from sound.
Right, and Hans Jenny took it further with his tonoscope. Sound organizing undifferentiated stuff into complex forms, sometimes looking, well, life forms.
Right.
And modern physics, it backs this up. Matter equals energy equals vibration. atoms themselves act like they have resonance.
Harmonic resonators.
That's the term. The universe, fundamentally, is vibration. A symphony, if you like.
So sound isn't just passive, something we hear. It's an organizing force, shaping matter.
Seems like it. It makes you wonder about the sounds around us all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, what invisible patterns are they making? And you said this goes beyond the lab, to cosmic scales.
It does. Seismographs show the Earth rings with these incredibly deep vibrations.
From earthquakes and things.
Yeah, like the 1960 Chilean quake. Frequencies 20 octaves below what we can hear.
20 octaves.
And get this, the tone of the atom is estimated to be 20 octaves above our hearing.
So, we're right in the middle.
Exactly. Human hearing is, quote, midway between the worlds of the macrocosm and those of the microcosm. It's pretty amazing.
That precision is wild. Like we're tuned to perceive just this specific slice.
And think about light. Visible light is just 1 octave in the electromagnetic spectrum out of 70 total. It parallels old ideas about a color octave and 7 cosmic tones.
Okay, so the big takeaway here is what?
The profound implication is that these objective effects on matter, on organisms, they strongly suggest some music might be objectively good.
And some objectively bad. Or even dangerous.
That's the argument. It directly challenges our modern idea that it's all just taste. It suggests music's impact is measurable, real.
That is a bold claim for today. Which brings us, I guess, to how Western music changed. This started around the 18th century, with equal temperament.
Right, that tuning system. It adjusts frequencies slightly so you can play in any key easily.
Which composers liked, obviously.
Absolutely. It opened up vast new avenues of harmonic possibility, as the source puts it, but...
There's always a but.
Yeah. From that ancient perspective, it was a trade-off. You lost that perfect geometrical alignment with the heavens. Practical, yes, but maybe with unseen costs.
A spiritual cost, the source implies.
And then after 1900, the shift became, well, even more dramatic, according to Tame.
How so?
Music increasingly moved away from what the source calls that vertically upward direction aiming for God, or contemplation.
Towards what then?
Towards a horizontal plane, evoking mortal reactions, human drama, the material world, a big shift away from spiritual upliftment.
Okay, so if the spiritual am lessened, how did the music itself sound different? What composers represent this?
Well, the book points to people like Mussorgsky, emphasizing a downward direction, desolation, pain. Think Night on Bald Mountain.
Right, from Fantasia. Definitely dark.
Or Schoenberg, developing atonality, serialism, music deliberately without a key center, without traditional harmony.
Which sounds challenging, to put it mildly.
Very. The source calls it a momentous move. One that ancient sages might have seen as disastrous, lacking the tonality that's supposedly naturally meaningful to us.
And this wasn't just in Europe. You mentioned Charles Ives in America.
Yeah, independently developing similar ideas. Atonality, complex rhythms, chance elements, and strangely, his creative composing just stopped decades before he died.
Huh. A psychological effect, the book says.
Even Stravinsky's Rite of Spring, groundbreaking, sure, but described as pagan, malevolent. Stravinsky himself said something interesting.
What was that?
I heard and I wrote what I heard. I was the vessel of the Rite of Spring, like he was channeling something.
So a lot of this modern stuff was driven by art for art's sake, divorced from morals or spirit.
That seems to be a key part of it. And John Cage took it even further with indeterminacy.
Using dice, the I Ching.
Right, computers. Letting chance dictate the notes. The source argues that's where no firm standards whatsoever remain, pushing music into anti-music, even cynical nihilism.
Rejecting beauty, truth, goodness, those platonic ideals.
Exactly. If art rejects those, the source suggests you head towards musical anarchy and materialism.
And it got even more extreme. Ferez's deserts. Industrial noise.
Yeah, recorded mechanical sounds, a wasteland of sound. And he wanted the film shown with it to be absolutely in opposition to the music.
Why? What effect would that have?
Concerns about a mind-splitting effect, potentially inducing psychosis. Other electronic music aimed to portray mental disintegration, coldness.
And Lamonti Young, hours of amplified noise.
Oral and psychological onslaught is how the book describes it. Just immense amplified chords for hours.
That sounds intense.
And then there's Steve Reich, studying with a voodoo drummer. Voodoo music, the source notes, openly aims to induce trance, orgies, even cause harm.
That's pretty direct about its intent.
A power, the book warns, not to be lightly dismissed. Which brings us to rock music.
Ah, yes. Described as music warfare, guitar gunners, That's strong language.
It is provocative, and it mentions things like rock and roll hot pants designed to apply vibrations directly to the body.
For tingles.
Yeah, for bodily sensations which feel good. The book finds that focus on physical sensation over spirit, well, sobering.
Okay, so we've gone from cosmic harmony to vibrating hot pants. What does this whole arc mean for us, just listening in our daily lives?
It brings us right back to that core idea. Music molds us, our thoughts, our behaviors.
History seems to show that, right? Martial music?
Absolutely. Used for courage or fear. And think about armies breaking step on bridges.
To avoid collapse from the rhythm.
Exactly. Rhythm has real physical force.
Mhm.
And research suggests some modern rhythms, fast, loud, syncopated rock rhythms, can be harmful
Harmful how?
physically.
Affecting heartbeat, digestion, blood pressure, increasing mental tension and inharmony. Prolonged listening might even lead to addiction, faster resting heart rates. Wow. Is there any, objective proof beyond human effects?
Well, this is where Dorothy Redelack's plant experiments come in. They're pretty famous.
Right, the plants in music. Tell us about those.
She exposed some plants, squash, corn, others to acid rock for weeks. They ended up stunted and damaged.
Okay, and other plants.
Others got harmonious classical music, Bach's Brandenburg concertos. They grew luxuriantly. They even leaned towards the speaker.
Seriously, leaning towards the back.
That's what the research reported. It really suggests the effects are objective, not just psychological conditioning in humans.
Which supports that ancient idea. Some music is objectively good, some bad.
It certainly points that way. And think about the political uses, too.
Weaponization of music.
Yeah. Stalin, despite his ideology, saw music as a real threat, controlled it tightly.
And the opposite, music uniting people.
Definitely. Like resistance songs during the American Revolution, forging unity and purpose very quickly.
So it all comes back to the impact on us, the listeners, and the creators too.
Yes, the source poses that question. Isn't it the consciousness of the musician that matters most?
Their mental, emotional state.
Exactly. It is the essence of this state which enters into us, tending to mold and shape our own consciousness into conformity with itself.
That's a heavy thought, like absorbing the composer's state of mind.
Potentially. Monteverdi said, "The end of all good music is to affect the soul." But then you have David Bowie quoted saying,
What did Bowie say?
something like, "I figured the only thing to do was to swipe their kids. I'm just talking about changing their value systems." Acknowledging music's power to reshape thinking.
Directly admitting it. Wow.
It loops back to Plato again. Art needs beauty, truth, goodness. If modern music rejects those for aesthetic purism or just chance,
Then anarchy and materialism follow. That's the argument.
that's the conclusion drawn in the source, yes.
So, wrapping this up, the core message seems crystal clear. Music is incredibly powerful. A neutral force, maybe?
That's a good way to put it. Far more than just background noise.
We've seen its power to build, to heal, to shape minds, even matter itself.
But also its power to disrupt, degenerate, potentially destroy.
It really presents us with a choice, then, about this power.
It does. The source makes a stark comparison. Music, too, is a neutral force, and its ultimate effects, for good or evil, may not be at all dissimilar in their potency to those of nuclear energy.
Nuclear energy, that really puts it into perspective, doesn't it?
It certainly makes you pause.
So the final thought for you listening.
Ugh.
If music truly shapes our consciousness,
Mm.
individually and collectively,
And if our collective consciousness shapes our future.
then what kind of music are you choosing to fill your life with? And maybe what future are you helping to compose?
It's a question for everyone, really, not just musicians, something to think about.